Meantime, a few other things worth getting to before we get to some other detail, including I'm looking forward to a conversation about what happened today with Donald Trump. Some leading professors that we've been talking to for a long time have repeated what we have said the entire time during the COVID-19 pandemic, which is shame on anyone who decided to tell our kids that they couldn't leave their room, let alone go to school, let alone go to a playground. The long-term mental health effects are now starting to be seen, and Professor Peter Collignon is coming forward to start to tell us just how bad that situation is. I'll have more on that for you in the coming day or so. Matt Kean is now the Deputy Leader of the Liberal Party in New South Wales, further guaranteeing the inevitability of Chris Minns and the Labor Party winning at the next election and One Nation being able to get a plenty more spots in the lower and upper house in New South Wales. Now, I would gladly show you Green Kean, but you want to see the actual problem? This is the supposedly conservative Premier of New South Wales, who looks incredibly excited about having Malcolm Turnbull's political love child now sitting beside him, running the joint over the cliff.
I believe that Matt has the drive, the determination, the energy and the passion to make a strong contribution in this role.
For those paying attention to how flags are positioned, the Australian flag was out of shot. The flags you could see, of course, there were the Torres Strait Islander flags, which last time I checked is not part of New South Wales. Okay, and the New South Wales state ensign. And still apparently $25 million to put the extra flagpole up because that's the price of inclusion. Oh, yeah, so conservative. Meantime, just how lucky is Daniel Andrews? Lucky when it comes to red shirts, lucky when he comes to his own party corruption, lucky, of course, when it comes to his own handling of COVID-19. Well, guess what? They've just redrawn the boundaries for the upcoming state election, and Lucky Dan looks like he might win an extra 2 seats. I mean, how lucky is this guy? Would he be able to give some advice to other premiers about how to be so damn lucky? Because Dan is awfully lucky, isn't he? When he looked like maybe a few months ago losing the election, the process began, and then now that he most likely will win because the Liberals are so terrible in Victoria and the Stockholm Syndrome that meant they've been the government for the best part of 30 years, we'll throw in an extra couple of seats just to keep the buffer going. Oh, yeah, and regional Victoria will apparently love voting Labor because the Commonwealth Games is coming there in 4 years' time. Vote for us because you're going to get a swimming pool. Well, just a reminder to regional Victoria, remember when you got locked down when there was no COVID? That's the guy who's going to be trying to win you over with pools and velodromes over the next couple of years. Please don't forget it. And meantime, in Queensland, the taxpayers of that state, and we'll get into the corruption issues in and around there, are now paying for a photographer to follow around that idiot Stephen Miles, who is a doctor, not of medicine, not of economics, but of politics. His thesis was about unionology or something like that. Well, now a social media person is on full time to take photos of him with puppies to remind us, oh, yeah, he's so amazing. And the woke queen, Jacinda Ardern, well, latest opinion poll came out there suggesting that she's at her lowest approval rating ever and the opposition could win an election. But that was exactly the case last time, right? So I don't entirely believe that just yet, but good to see that the crown is ever so slightly fading.